Hello, and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos, The Journey Home. I'm your Dungeon Master, Darby. Joining me as always are Zoe, playing Sepia, Emily, playing Beatrice, Laura, playing Conrad, and Johanna, playing Fall. Let's jump into it. So, where we last left off, the party rested for a bit at Mordenkainen's tower, as Mordenkainen prepared both clothes, gifts, as well as a simulacrum to accompany them. And Sepia and Conrad had a bit of a heart-to-heart, and then they all prepared for the journey towards the Tower of Archon the Cruel. So Mordenkainen's simulacrum, I presume, will probably take the helm of the infernal war machine, whereas Conrad, I take it you are gonna follow alongside with your newly claimed motorbike.
Yes, he will.
All right. So, in that case, I might get Conrad to make us our navigation roll. Can you make me a survival check, please?
Okay, let's see.
To see how. Do it with advantage as you're kind of following along the infernal machine.
16.
Okay, so 16. Yeah, so it. Roll me a D10, please.
An 8.
8. Okay, so it takes you 8 hours to traverse these hellish landscapes. Fortunately, being in a infernal machine, you're able to mostly go along unnoticed. And you approach the tower. Is there anything that people would be discussing on the journey? And I would say you're probably traveling close enough that Conrad could communicate with a little bit of volume.
So, what's the plan here? There's this dangerous person has an artifact they're trying to get a hold of. No leads to weaken them or anything this time. We're just charging in.
Well, I did not think of that. Well, I mean, at the very least, we can investigate this tower. See if perhaps there is some kind of weakness to it, like there was with Strahd. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe when we're a bit closer, we might be able to find some sort of clues, or potentially even we could just, again, much like a part of this group did with Strahd, we could go in and have a jolly good chat with him, see if that helps out.
Oh, yes, that's true. We don't...
I mean...
Yes,
We would... What?
Oh, Mordenkainen. Do you know how hostile this person is? Will they be immediately attack on sight, or...? He addresses the
My
simulacrum.
intel suggests not. However, you can never be so certain. I believe it should be possible to go in with the intent of negotiation, but we should be prepared for the idea that things may go south.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, good to know then.
Good. Okay.
I can make one person invisible if needed.
Well, Conrad can also become invisible now. Can't you, Conrad? Sticks head out window. You can become invisible?
Yes, once, I believe, with the potion.
Oh, good. That's good to know. We are realizing that as much as we have far more guidance this time around, we are also working with less information. So, we may perhaps resort to a Strahd method of a sort, whereby we attempt to peacefully learn information before, giving them the old 1-2, as it were.
You certainly were not present for that dinner.
No.
But we can try that, certainly. Exley tried to murder him.
What?
Yes, but at least this time we will not have at least that problem.
Long
Look,
silence.
a lot of things happened. Strahd was being Strahd, and Exley took offense.
She, pulls her head back in, but Conrad can probably still hear her. She's like, you told me that some situation occurred and Conrad got charmed. You didn't. Exley tried to kill him.
Well, Conrad got charmed, and Exley and I realized that had happened, and I was trying to handle it, and Exley just instantly went, you must die. And I had to try and defuse the situation, and poor Conrad was just being Conrad, but charmed, and it was like, oh, yes, Strahd. Oh, yes, that's a wonderful idea. Oh, you're such a good conversationalist. As he does. Yes.
So, you know what? I don't even know why I'm surprised anymore. You could have told me this at the time, and I would have instantly forgotten, because this is just another in a long line of stupidity from certain members of this group. It's
a lot of things were happening, and a lot of things have happened since. It's fine, right? He's fine.
And once again, you just let Conrad walk home charmed. It's fine. Anyway, Conrad, while I am aware that that dinner did not go particularly well, there is chance that this one could go better, yes? We're not eating for one.
Yes, I suppose so. I suppose we'll have to see. We're not going off much else, so we just have to hope that we survive.
Yes, survival is the ideal. Anyway, that is, I believe, all we know of the situation. Any thoughts while you're on the bike?
He's trying to look over, but he's trying to he's trying to focus on not careening the bike over, so he seems to be struggling with that a bit. He's like, I don't particularly know. I don't know anything about this place. This is probably even less removed from what I'm used to than before. Very hot. I don't really know much apart from locate the object. So, I presume there'll be some kind of dark gift to try and bestow upon one of us or something like that. That's what seems to happen. And we'll have to kill a lot of things.
You've really hit the nail on the head with that one, Conrad. Well, have fun focusing. Thumbs up.
Yes, of course. I'm good at this. Yes.
Another thumbs up. And she sticks her head back in.
So, as you reach the end of your 8th hour on the road, you see a dark tower loom on the horizon. Its black spire rising hundreds of feet, its ramparts bristling with charred skulls mounted on iron spikes. The tower's apex splits into 5 narrower spires that jab into the sky like clawed fingers. Circling above the tower's peak is a great white dragon stained with ash and soot. As you get closer to the tower, you notice figures shuffling atop its ramparts, undead guards in various states of decay.
Well, this has
Ew.
just gotten that little bit harder.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like great. Like, let's have fun negotiations type of people.
No, but to be fair, we are in hell, darling.
I say, what's that up in the
That's true.
sky? It's like a dinosaur.
It looks like a dragon.
Oh.
And as you essentially pull up to just the outskirts of the tower, you hear a thunderous from the dragon.
Oh, that would be dragon. Yep, definitely dragon.
And you see
Well,
some of the undead look in your direction.
Well, there's certainly nowhere here now.
Quite. Well. Shipshape, everyone. We might be able to handle this quite quickly. She pulls a face. It is not a confident face. As she gets out of the car.
So, as you all exit, or in your case, Conrad, step off of the vehicles, you see the waves of undead part down the middle, form a sort of corridor of undead bodies that leads from where you are to the door of the tower. And exiting that door, you see a squat, grayish-green skinned turtle with a spiky dark black shell with a great number of runes carved into it. They carry in their right hand a maul with designs of skulls on either side of it. And they have these dark iron knee pads and gauntlets on. And the figure approaches you. You come to Arkhan's tower. What is your business here?
Well, firstly, like what you've done with the place, all the servants and all that. He gestures widely to the undead.
Tiamat's champion has garnered a new power.
Interesting. To command the undead? Or to create them?
In part, both. It's part of the boons of a treasure found on another world.
Interesting. We are player travelers ourselves.
What?
From another world.
What brought you to this tower in particular?
Conrad turns, kind of like looks a little bit more awkward, and like looks at both Sevia and Beatrice, not pleadingly, but like there is a mild look of like, buried within him, trying to look haughty.
Sevia looks at Beatrice to see if that little beak is going to open and say something that'll get us in trouble.
Well, I was going to say for once, but Beatrice is good. Beatrice doesn't open her beak and get everybody into trouble that often.
Okay, so Sevia will look at Beatrice briefly and then look at Conrad and just kind of nod encouragingly, and is going to turn around and say, "We wish to seek an audience with Tiamat's champion."
That would be difficult at the moment. She is not here.
Ah, not here. Bad timing.
Why do you seek him?
We have been directed to speak with him by an associate of ours. We seek passage to our homeland, and we were suggested to speak with your champion.
The old mage. Is that who you speak of?
Yes, he does look quite old, doesn't he?
There are so many people we have spoken to. One of them was surely an old mage. We were just told of Arkan's incredible power, and as stated, we wish to return home. Truly, if his power is so great, he must be able to assist.
Certainly something that he would be capable of. The important thing is what you can do for him in return.
A bargain, you say?
Potentially.
Sevia, scratches the side of her head and she casts a message to Conrad and just says, "A dark deal, mayhaps."
Conrad kind of grins, but does not return. He's kind of inclines his head slightly. Do you have an idea of what he may request?
I do not. However, if you tell me what he may be able to offer, then I might deem it worth his time to hear you negotiate.
So you mean to say he is not here in the sense that you do not wish to give us passage to see him?
No, he's
Correct?
also not here.
Oh, okay. Well.
He's not within the tower.
Ah. 2 hurdles then. Has he gone?
Well, for that, I don't think you need to know that unless you have something worth dealing with him for. You want something from him, but who's to say that he wants anything from you?
What things interest him? You're clearly quite close.
That isn't how this works. I'm afraid, my young, naive boy.
Conrad's kind of like just bristling. Like, just like puffs himself up a bit. Like, well, then elaborate.
Did you
What are your
not
terms?
just hear me? This is not how this works. You have something that Archon wants. No, you want something from Archon that he presumably has or can do. As far as he knows, and as far as I know, you have nothing that you can do or give him. So why should I take you to where he is if you have nothing to offer? And if you cannot think of anything, then you clearly have nothing to offer.
Crow's mouth kind of like flaps open and shut like a few times, and he's just very like goes very red in the face. Although not as much as he would, because he still has that kind of sickly aura to him. But everyone else can tell he's getting pissy. His like little hands are like balled into fists at his side. He's trying to not say anything, but he's just like bubbling.
My apologies. I'm sorry. We were just trying to ascertain what exactly would impress him and what he may like. As you see, we are an adventuring troupe that has traveled many different realms. In fact, we recently took down the great ruler Strahd of the land of Barovia from legends. This here is an artifact that was used to destroy him, and he holds forward like the holy symbol of Ravenkind. As would something like this interest him?
And he turns his head towards Conrad. Now this is how negotiations are supposed to work. My human friend, you would be wise to learn this tiefling here. That is certainly something that would at least get you an audience with Archon.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Would it be permissible for us to stay anywhere to await his return, or?
He has no plans on returning overly soon, though I can take you to him.
Oh, that's a very kind option.
It's only a brief journey. Set this place up as it was. Be as close as possible to his mistress' shrine.
Oh, of course. Then I suppose if it's not too much of a bother, that would be very kind of you to lead us to him.
Of course. It's but an hour's trek.
Wonderful. Fool just kind of like looks at everyone else to like ascertain how they're feeling about it. Fool's just kind of like, worth a try.
Conrad's still just seething. He's very like red-faced. He's kind of like staring at the ground very pointedly at this point. Which Fawkes could very quickly see, oh, he's just trying not to say anything or do anything. And yeah, trying to stabilize himself, just staring at the ground. But he's angry. So that's all Fawkes can ascertain from him.
We'll just kind of does like an awkward
breathing.
Like, I'm sorry.
Sevia is going to look at Beatrice as if to be like, okay. Like, she is looking around the whole group, but as stated, Conrad is just trying his darndest right at this moment, so Sevia is just like, Beatrice, are we good to go, or...
Beatrice looks a little torn. That's all you can really get from her.
I should warn you. The journey is too rough and treacherous for these war machines. You have to make them. So it must be on foot that we go.
Oh.
Well, may we perhaps have a moment to grab what we need from our war machines, and then we may proceed.
That would be permitted.
Thank you. We shall return promptly.
Yes. Thank you very much. About face and head to them.
Go to war machine. Once we're all in the war machine, and Sevia's is going to be like, oh, okay, so we're an hour away. Conrad, do you need to like yell a little bit or something?
I'll be fine.
He was very rude, wasn't he?
Yes. Rather.
Yes, absolutely.
Those pointless people that don't make their intention clear, what they're asking clear, and then don't listen. Stabs his foot and just like kicks like something on the ground.
Not
like a little
everybody
can.
is just going to give you what you want or the information you want. You need to bargain for it. We don't have a lot to bargain with.
Carla just turns and just glares at Beatrice.
I may have an option aside from holy symbol, but we lead with that. And then the other option, we shall see what happens.
I see.
I know the people he works with and works for. One of them would probably very much like to get a hold of me.
Oh.
And I would like to get a hold of her.
Ah. Crow says, and there's like, hang on, I don't get it at all. He's like, and then just like, briefly like, huh? And then just like rearranges his expression, be like, yes, I know what you're talking about, yes.
Are you assuming that this Mistress Shrine is... See if you remember her name.
Zariel.
Is Zariel?
No, I assume the shrine is to Tiamat.
Oh,
But they both I assume they'll work somewhat simpatico.
So you're potentially assuming that following this path may also lead us to her, or are you assuming it is a separate path?
Could be either.
Right.
Well,
As Mordenkainen said, once we have the dial, we can either do what we please while he reinstalls it, or we can come back. Your revenge can happen, Beatrice, but we have a chance to do this quickly.
That's assuming that he has the dial with him and not hidden in his tower over there.
yes, I was worried about that.
Yes.
True.
I will just also come out and say it. Them saying that we can't take these the machinery means they're probably going to be destroyed at the very least by the time I come back.
Oh. Gave up a very good book for this. Well, we can deal with that when it happens, can't we?
Yes. Besides, who's to say anybody will come near here with all of that happening?
True.
I don't think that they would. I don't think that those that protect the tower will have much worry about a couple of empty war machines. It'd be more other people with war machines that want more war machines. But they won't come near here. Surely.
I suppose we shall have to see.
Yes. Well, this might be our chance to go home, though.
Yes.
I hope so.
Well, I suppose we shall have to hope that they'd say that they will keep their word.
Well, if there's one thing that can be said about those in hell, at least from what I've read, their word is often all they have. It's just they often stick to the letter of it rather than the spirit. Perhaps we can make them swear that our war machines will remain unharmed, untouched, and fully functional by the time we return.
One can hope.
Alright.
Well then. We should probably go.
Let's go.
So hopefully he will enjoy this holy symbol and the tales with it.
And as Kroll sees you departing the machine again, are you ready to trek to the monument?
Yes, we are. I hope you yourself are ready as well. It's a very short notice.
I'm prepared. And you see he is flanked on either side by a total of 4 ghouls. So 2 ghouls on either side.
Oh, wonderful, and company as well.
I need to make sure that I have protection. You can't just trust everyone you meet in hell.
Of course, that's very wise.
Shall we go?
Yes, lead the way.
Alright, can I get, again, everyone except for Conrad, to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
22 for Beatrice.
That is perfectly fine. That is a success. Paul.
I got a dirty 20.
Nice. That is also perfectly fine. And Sevia.
5.
So you take 1 point of exhaustion.
Yep.
Do I need to give you one of my dice?
I rolled a brand new one.
So yes, after about an hour of travel, you reach the monument to Tiamat. Colossal dragon skull leans against the mountainside, surrounded by bones the size of houses. Acrid smoke rises from the skull's maw, and a military tent has been pitched among the bones. Parked next to it is a two-wheeled war machine. Gathered around this tent are a dozen chattering reptilian humanoids with gleaming swords, white scales, and white leathery wings. My liege, Kroll calls out. You have visitors wanting to make a deal. A moment passes. Another moment. Before you see a red dragonborn wearing this obsidian flint plate armor. His arms are exposed in the armor, showing that his left hand is not his own. Instead, it is a withered, human-like hand, faintly glowing green with necromantic energy. On his back, he has a tattered green cape, as well as an axe with bones holding the blade in place upon the shaft. So, what can I help you with?
Hail and well met.
Hail
We
and
are
well
travelers
met.
We are travelers from another plane.
And what plane? What plane would that be?
Oh, the plane of Fierlor.
Can't say I've dealt with that one. But I've traveled around a bit. My most recent material plane was Exandria, which is where I picked this up, and he holds the necrotic hand.
Interesting.
Oh, it certainly is.
Is that where where all of the gestures to like the four ghouls? That's where those are from.
Oh,
A
yeah.
summoning power.
This is courtesy of a god, fledgling god from the plane of Exandria.
Oh.
He's a sort of key being, finds versions of himself replicated among the planes, but this particular version was from Exandria and was only just becoming a god at the time that I was lucky enough to come across.
Oh. Fascinating.
Was fortunately able to dupe a bunch of do-gooders enough to get the hand away from them.
I see. Well, that was very noble. That was very well done then. Goodness,
Yes.
it seems very It seems very useful.
Oh, it certainly is.
Conrad was very shitty the whole travel. He's suddenly very like, oh yeah, yeah. He's like the stride. Like, yeah, no, I'm talking to this person. Absolutely, yep,
So, what is it that brought you to me?
Oh yes, well, we were directed here by for query to speak with you on a matter.
Directed by who? Forgive my inquisitiveness, but Paladin of Lady Tiamat is hardly the first person that most people will direct you to in a place like Avernus.
I will take your word for it. We are but new travelers here of this plane.
As you said.
Well, if no one stops Connor, he'll be like, it is a wizard named Mordenkainen. Have you heard of him?
Oh, the old coot wants his dial, does he?
Ah, yes. Yes. In a sense. He has directed us to you to speak with you for it.
You were going to speak?
Me? Sevia probably would have looked as if, like, I mean, we've already mentioned Mordenkainen. Did the Selectrum, like, stay with the car?
Yes.
Is he protecting the car?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, our car will not get stolen unless they kill him. Sevia probably had a moment where she was like, oh no, Mordenkainen. And it's like, no, we've already mentioned Mordenkainen. And she goes, I only wish to confirm what dear Conrad has been saying is that, yes, we were sent to speak with you. Mordenkainen gave us direction, but we are also clearly in awe of your power. This is immense.
That's certainly a word for it.
Sevia's eyes widen a little bit, and her mouth kind of.
So, you want the dial. You want the dial. I'm not done with the dial. I probably won't be for quite some time. And he looks each of you up and down and says, I apologize for how frank I'm being, but I don't think that the four of you can take me. Not with the army that I have at my disposal, at any rate.
Might we ask what you and your army are doing?
You might. We are working towards the liberation of Tiamat. To do that, I must get to Exandria. To do that, I need the dial. So I think you can understand why I don't exactly want to part with it.
Pray tell, who is Tiamat? Is Tiamat the entity that gives you your magic?
Yes. You not have Tiamat on Fierlor?
I presume we don't.
Anyone can roll me a religion check if they want.
Conrad's not very knowledgeable of these things, so we'll see.
I am.
Yeah, no. An
We'll go to
11
dirty
for Conrad.
Dirty 20. Beatrice?
You're muted, babe.
I know. Religion. Hang on, I had to find religion. 17.
17. And Sevia?
23.
23. Okay, Sevia and Paul. You are vaguely aware of Tiamat. She's not a god that is typically followed on Fierlor, even by chromatic dragons, which is her remit. There is a very similar goddess, Malice, the rainbow dragon, who forms much of the same perfunctory roles as the deity of evil dragons, but there are distinct differences, and while the two would ally themselves in sort of interplanar senses, they are separate entities to each other.
Okay. There is an awareness of the goddess Tiamat, however, she is not the only dragon god of Fierlor, and is unfortunately less well known and less followed.
Interesting. So, I guess really what we need to work out is whether you're just going to give up and go home empty-handed, or go back to Mordenkainen and empty-handed, or whether we could maybe come to an accord that I could help you out. Maybe. Once I'm done with the dial. Whenever that may be.
Yes, true. I suppose the option of a quick borrow so we can leave, would that be on the table?
I don't think so. No, not like that, because that quick borrow, you would probably take the dial with you in casting the spell. And I can't exactly have that.
Yes, I see.
However, in my functioning of it, I don't necessarily need to take it with me. My trip to Exandria is only intended as one way, so maybe, if you do what I want, once I'm done with it, I can return it to you. If you do something for me.
Great, tell why have you not traveled there yet? Is there something that is barring your passage into this land?
Oh, a few things. Still working out the enchantment and the device necessary
Yes.
to use it to actually bring Tiamat through. But there's also something I want here. And there are many of these across the plains, but I only really need one. And there happens to be one here. That's too convenient to pass up if I have the chance to get it. And it sounds like a chance to get it has just come knocking on my doorstep.
What would that be?
Have you ever heard of orbs of dragonkind? They are powerful artifacts, said to contain ancient dragons from the dawn of time within them. Those who have them can perform a great many draconic feats.
Oh. I have not.
The former archdevil of this plane, one Bell, has one of these orbs in his possession. Now, I don't know what Bell would want in return for it. I frankly, at this point, don't care. If you are going to be the ones to go get it, then however you go about that, go ahead. I don't need to know one way or the other. All I need to know is that if you come back here, you will have the orb for me. And once I am done with the dial, then maybe you can have it back. For the price of this orb.
Alright, well, we can certainly look into that. Where is this bell located?
Most times, he's at his forge. He still has his functions within the Blood War. Oversees the Great Forge, creating all this armor of the Infernal Legions. We've salvaged a little bit of it from time to time for some of our men, but yeah, it's good stuff. It's powerful. It's magical. It's infernal. It's fun. But Bell also has, on top of that, the orb that I want.
So the supply of your armor being short-circuited is of no concern compared to the orb.
No. It's not our armor. We just have gotten some from time to time.
Understandable.
The undead that have them are undead. They die, we just raise them up again.
Yes, very useful about them. They're quite impressive.
A delightful party trick.
If you want to see it that way.
Well, sir, if
Please,
we...
call me Archon.
Archon? If we are to contact this bell for you, in exchange for use of the dial once you are done with it, is there any information you can give us about Bell that may perhaps make negotiation easier? And if you will forgive a potentially personal intrusion, is there a particular reason you cannot ask him for it yourself?
Well, my focus is here for now. I could have gone and gotten it myself eventually, but I've not yet had the time. And, as I said, an opportunity to expedite that process has just come knocking on my door. So, who would I be to turn that opportunity down?
Certainly makes sense. Using the tools at your disposal is always the best option.
Of course. Now, you're looking for an angle to negotiate with Bell. And honestly, probably a good idea. He is very powerful, would probably crush you in an instant. He was the Archdevil of Avernus before Zariel. Rumor has it, he's still got a bit of a chip on his shoulder about that. So if you could intimate something that could lead to her downfall, then he might look upon that very favorably.
Leverage. Excellent.
Now, no guarantees, of course, but certainly worth a shot.
I can certainly see why he might think more kindly of people if they maybe help provoke something.
Of course. Although, you'll also have to understand that he'll probably also say that none of it can come back to him. See, at the end of the day, it's not his choice, or any of the Archdevil's choices, who their successor is. All comes down to the big guy down below. call the choice of Lord Asmodeus, ruler of the Nine. So,
Makes sense.
if Asmodeus gets word that Bell has taken out his prized pet, the fallen angel, then Bell's not quite as likely to get his old job back, is he?
No, I can imagine not.
It's not that Asmodeus would mind, it's more that he'd mind that Bell made it so obvious. Devils in their games, you know.
That is most understandable. It is certainly difficult to claw favor back when you haven't been doing it very gracefully. All sounds perfectly logical, really.
Glad you see it that way. Now, what were
Yeah.
your names again? Just so I know what to keep an ear out for.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm Conrad Cerbaloni, and these are my traveling compatriots. He gestures to the others.
Pleasure, Conrad Cerbaloni.
Yes. Others' names?
Yes, I'm full of seven. Just full.
Of course. Pleasure.
Insight check full.
Oh.
Beatrice doesn't know.
Beatrice still doesn't know.
Killing Emily.
Is this it? Is this it? Is this how Beatrice finds out?
Roll that check.
Well, while that's happening, Sevia, Rudy Rin.
Sevia Ruderin. Pleasure.
Yep.
Beatrice.
Interesting name for a Keku. It's under the impression that most of your folk tend to go for more onomatopoeic names.
That would be correct.
And what did you roll on the inside against Fall?
Is it a natural 20?
It was so close to being a natural 20. It was a natural 19, and Beatrice has a +6, so that makes it 25.
Yeah, so, actually, Paul, can you roll me a deception check?
Sure. So that is an 11 plus 11. That's 22.
So you're aware...
I don't think they were especially trying to hide it. They were just like, uncomfy.
So you're aware, Beatrice, that there's something that Paul is leaving out. What it is, you don't know.
Beatrice is just going to hold on to that little tidbit for now.
So, I offer you some assistance in what you can do, but frankly, that would be way too accommodating, considering I'm the one doing you a favor. However, I can, if you have, I believe you had transport, I can always snap you back to it if you would like.
Save the hour's walk. Well, that is convenient.
Well, I've not used the teleport today, and I'm not going to use it today, so I might as well
Oh.
give you the benefit of it.
Is that like when we travel to different planes, the same sort of magic?
Sort of, but not really, no. This is more of on a local level.
Interesting.
Well, yes, that would be very kind of you.
Oh, don't mistake it for kindness. I just want my orb as soon as possible.
That's fair.
Understandable.
Practicality is its own form of kindness, depending on how you look at it. Ha 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 ha.
Sure. Now, unless you have any further questions, he holds up his left hand. Yeah, the bony, rotting, or it's almost like it's rotting, but it seems to be stuck within a certain stage of rot.
Interesting. No, this sounds quite clear.
Well, get me my orb. He snaps his fingers, and suddenly you're back by your machine.
Oh, well, it worked.
That was certainly interesting.
My word.
So, yeah, basically, we have to make deals with some horrible paladin devil who means that for him we have to go to like the former archdevil, and to get stuff from that we need to take out the current one. This is insane.
It is. And then, depending on what we want to do at the end of it, considering at the end of it all, we are technically here because of Mordenkainen, at a certain point we do have to betray the paladin, so... You know...
That's wonderful.
Just another day in the life, to be fair. Conrad, you handled that very well.
Oh, yes, well, a little bit more polite than the turtle.
Yes, certainly. He seemed far more, amenable. Very charismatic.
Yes, rather.
Yes.
Yes, haven't seen much around like that around. Well, yes. Clear plan too, so that's useful for us, I suppose. We just need to make sure that yes, we get what we want out of him.
Yes. And well, you know, if we can potentially do this whole adventure as nothing more than a series of bureaucratic conversations and one itty-bitty betrayal, then really it's not a win compared to, you know, crawling through endless rooms. At least here we have a direction.
Oh, certainly. It all seems to just sort of mimic politics or different forms of government, really. It's just to try to find out who wants to backstab who and who you should be assisting. Anything different from being back home is that, you know, we can't exactly organise a poisoning to sort of tip it all in our favour. Not yet, at least, anyway. Should be good.
I mean, Beatrice sort of looks down at her bag and then back at everyone else.
Well, yes, perhaps I could play something play into it. Very good, though. I feel we have a plan now. We need to travel another distance to find someone else. So hopefully, lot of travelling to be done, I believe. At least the machines appear to be intact, so that's good.
Yes, in this particular case, we have a thread that leads all the way to the end. It is just a matter of how we follow it. And Sevia does look at Beatrice as she says this.
Yes, we're good.
Yes, great. We've got a pathway to go through. Let's utterly bizarre. I feel like I should have just like stayed in Palace and just like killed King Shoregate myself. This is
What?
oh, it just seems like a similar like level. This is just very weird.
You had to kill a king.
Oh no, no. Instead of fleeing, this is like the same level of weird. Yes.
I was full. The fact that for a moment that I was confused, it's and then remembers Beatrice is there and cannot say what she wants to say because she doesn't know that Beatrice has started to cotton on to the relationship here. It's like, well, oh, I'm glad you didn't have to kill it. King, and now we just have to kill an archdevil. Ha 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 ha.
Yes.
Day in the life, really.
Apparently now, yes.
Conrad leans in towards Beatrice while they're talking. He's like, they're flirting again. Disgusting.
In a really roundabout way, yes. I don't think they mean to at this point, though.
Yes, well, does one ever? Then just goes like well within the circulation of the cars.
Beatrice sort of leans further into Conrad and says, "Did you hear Fall went to say surname?"
Oh,
never said surname.
When was that?
When we were introducing ourselves to Mr. Big and Red.
Oh, yes, I was quite distracted. What was a surname? I did not know they had a surname.
That's what I thought.
He kind of like looks over at Fall like, huh. Strange. I would not know why they would feel the need to do so.
Okay. Yes, very strange. And Beatrice is going to sort of straighten back up.
Cool.
And see what the flirting pair are currently up to.
Excellent. Conrad looks very obviously like, huh, based on the deception I rolled. So you can probably practically see the gears grinding in his head, but who knows?
The flirting couple are probably still just standing there being very awkward.
Shall we start moving, perhaps?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, as you return to the inside of the war machine, Mordenkainen says, any progress?
Of a sort.
Oh,
that's
quite
right,
a
the
lot,
second
depending
one.
on what direction. Yes.
They've been pointed in another direction, basically.
Where to?
To the location of a devil called Bell, yes.
To Bell's
Should be at a
Forge.
forge, yes.
Of course. Interesting. So, in that case, let's travel on for a couple of hours, find a place that we can rest within the machine, and venture on.
Very good idea.
Sounds like a good idea. Also, may I say, clearly the turtle didn't know him very well, but considering he did not guess at all what Arkan wanted.
That is true.
Asking for us to offer things up, and then, he has a very specific idea of what he wants. Very silly. About time, honestly.
Yes.
So, clearly didn't know what he was talking about. I will, yes. Do we know what direction to go to? Mordenkainen 2?
Yes. Well enough, anyway.
Oh, question. Mordenkainen spoke that you do not contain soul, so you do not have, say, the same sentience as Exley did. Yes?
I have the same sentience, it just diminishes once I am destroyed.
No independent thought separate from the one you were copied from, though.
No. Mentally, I am, for all intents and purposes, second Mordenkainen.
Interesting. I wonder what would happen if you procured a different soul. Oh well, happy steering. I will follow alongside until we find somewhere where you believe we can rest.
All right.
Crow strides to the motorbike.
All right. And you
Flipping
probably
a coin.
drive for another hour to reach a kind of relative safe point in hell.
So whilst they are driving, Beatrice is going to sidle up to Fall, very burb-like. So I couldn't help but notice something.
Oh, yes.
And I have to say, I feel like there's something that everybody else knows that I do not.
I mean, possibly?
You.
I don't know.
You went to say surname.
Oh.
And it started with S.
Yes.
Introducing ourselves.
I mean, that's true, but then I changed my mind and I didn't say it.
You are still going to say it.
I mean, I considered something.
I do not think it's very fair when everybody else knows something that Beatrice does not know.
I mean, yes, that's probably true. I don't really know what the other person involved in this thinks about it. Huh. Yeah, I don't think Conrad ever said to keep it secret or anything. Yes, well, so you just heard an S, is that right? Why do you think it's so important? What are your thoughts here?
Because you and a certain pretty boy have been acting very funny around each other.
I see, and you
And
think
not
in
funny
a
in
way
the
that
same way that
connects.
you interact with Sevia.
I see in a way that that it connects to surnames. Then you
That
think?
is the assumption.
Yes. Well, I won't say anything outright, but so no faith broken if this was the case. But you are very astute, Beatrice. And I will have a talk to someone about something.
Beatrice makes a little sort of hum noise. That's neither here nor there in terms of whether she's sort of accepting of that. But she does sort of nod and sidle back off.
Excellent. Well, it's like, successfully done.
I mean, I guess Beatrice roll an insight from that. And I'm gonna say, Fall, roll me a deception with disadvantage for how shifty you were in trying to hide that.
I mean, I wasn't trying to deceive. I was trying
No.
to tell the truth. That's a 15. Oh, no, and that one. Okay, that's a 12. I think she probably...
So what?
Well, how the turns have tabled.
Is this going to be a nat 1 versus a nat 20?
It might be.
Nice.
So that's a nat 20 for 26.
So, from the way that Fall was behaving and answering your questions, you are able to piece together, just from your prior suspicions and current body language, that there is something that led to Fall going to use the surname Cerbaloni. And actually, what is your passive perception?
Mine, 16, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say yeah, that's pretty decent. It's when you consider this factor on top of it, that you probably notice that there are, as has been mentioned during this very session, there are some resemblance features between Fall and Conrad when you know to look for them.
Yeah, I'd say
Probably
that now that Fall essentially has like a half undercut thing from the burning, and he's got more of a fringe that's similar to Conrad's, I'd say, as well. It kind of flicks that way.
Swoop.
So, yes.
Beatrice is going to sidle off and have a good think.
Excellent.
And on that revelation, that's where we're going to leave it for this week.
All right. See you next week, everyone.
Have a great week, everyone.
Yeah,
Have a
thank
great
you
week.
for listening.
Thanks for your
Next
support.
time, thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Thank you.